Hey guys, it's Pyroman87. Yes, the first new video in many months. Actually was moving into a new house the last couple of months, and now that I'm pretty much established, I just wanted to show you guys the backyard shed, which is supposed to be for lawn equipment and stuff, but I've decided to make it my pyro shed. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of my stash up to date. This is basically part 1 of my stash video. Part 2 will be coming later this month because I got to pick up the rest of these things, which is about 40 to 45 cases of fireworks. So this is pretty much part 1 and everything I have up to this point. So we got some Excalibur shells. This is left over from a case from last year. So I got a whole tub of these broken down that I'll show you in a minute. Then I've got a case of Special, nice 200 gram cake from Cutting Edge. Very good cake. Was really hard to find for some reason last year. Then I've just got miscellaneous firing equipment, extra fuse, remotes, firing wire, bag of fuse. And then in the white container I've just got some safe and sane stuff, so daytime fireworks, fountains, stuff like that. And then I've got my firing systems, which you guys probably remember from last year, the remotefiringsystems.com 32Q systems. So I got 3 of those now. And I've got this really nice remote to control them all. This is also from remotefiringsystems.com. It's called the multifunction transmitter. And as you can see, it's got quite a few different options. You've got manual fire, you've got a stepper option, you've got sequence fire, which will just run through the entire module. This was actually just used a couple days ago during my Memorial Day display and worked out really great. So I'm really glad that I picked this up earlier this year. And then I got some leftover aftermath shells from Biggs. Pretty much just this little row is all that's left of that. And then over here in these tubs, just got some random stuff. We've got the leftover Excalibur shells, just broken down out of the box and all in their little pouches. And over here, we've got some of the 1.4 Pro items, including this guy, the 1.4 shell, 2.5 inch brocade. Last year I had some of the multicolored peonies, so this year I'll be shooting some of the brocade. And I've got a whole assortment of these 35mm meteors, green, blue, orange, several different colors that I picked up last year. So this is pretty much all leftovers of that, and then some other random items that you can probably guess what those are. Then over here I've got a container full of some old school ball shells. These are those Beehive General shells that I did in a video a couple years ago. So I've got several boxes of this, and then I've got one more tote of these, which I'll show you in a minute. Alright, now I've got some other random totes to go through. So this is kind of what I call my Roman candle and Assorted rocket tote. Nothing too fancy, just these little wimpy rockets, but they're fun to do to scratch the pyro itch. Got some firecrackers, some planes, just some assorted random Roman candles. And then I've got some assorted leftover shells, and these guys, you've seen these on YouTube, the consumer iMatch, basically a relative of the eMatch igniter. So I've got a whole box of those in this leftover bag, and then pretty much just leftover canister shells from the past years. ones that I kind of wanted to save and do individually because I thought the effects were too nice just to waste in Sky Puke. So they'll be useful to put into shows someday if you want a certain effect. And then I got some extra igniters. And then here are the rest of the shells from Bihei General. Double Impact, I found those actually last summer at a tent here in northern Wisconsin. So that was a pretty cool find, you know, thinking that they don't make them anymore. So now I've got 3 different Bihei General kits that I'm just going to hang on to. Alright, and then over here I got my shell racks. The 2 on the bottom here are ones that I've purchased on Pyro Boom. And then these are actually homemade racks, just using tubes from the Excalibur kits. The top one is a 4-shot, the bottom one is an 8-shot rack. And then I got this leftover sleeve of Kingslayer shells from Dominator, and then a full box of Kingslayer shells, and that's half a case that I split with somebody last year. And then huge amount of 3-meter igniters, the Talon clip-ons, and some pyro pokes. You've probably seen a lot of videos on YouTube on how to use these, and I finally got some this year. And then kind of the final part of the stash is just these miscellaneous cakes and some cases. So I got a case of Welder by Brothers. That's the really nice 8-shot cake. And then moving over here, I've got some leftover cakes from some cases. So I've got leftovers of Red October by Biggs. And then America, this was a new one for last year. This is actually a really nice angled cake. This box right here actually contained Sucker Punch cakes, but I've got it full of Dominator Pro's 13-shot slices, and I've got 3 different varieties in there. I just figured they fit in the box, so it's a good way to transport them. At the bottom, I've got a full case of Patriotism by Cutting Edge, a case of Polar Storm by Biggs, and then all the fireworks here are just leftovers from last year, so quite a few Last Right 500-gram cakes from Biggs. I've got probably the equivalent of 2.5 cases loose like that. Killer Cake from Winda, very nice 200-gram cake. I got some of these guys left over, the Spirit of 76 Pro Line strobes. I got these are actually the oldest cakes that haven't been shot off. These are from a couple years ago. Perfect Timing 16-shot 200-gram cakes from Dragon Brand, which is basically big fireworks. Then I've got a case or half a case of Matrix Pyro left over from last year, and half a case of Irish Legend by Brothers left over from last year. So yep, this is pretty much part 1 of the fireworks stash, and like I said, part 2 of the stash will be coming hopefully later this month. As I said, I've got close to 40 cases coming, so when those come in, I will definitely make a video about that and let you guys know what I bought.